Bob Ross is right. Except Bob Ross is dead. Bob Ross is gone. Look at me. You answer to me now. I am your Bob Ross. So I'm not gonna make you wait and watch the rest of this video. The thing is trees. It's trees, right? Pick a reference of like a large tree. A trick for if you want to make something that you're proud of, this is how I draw trees, right? Is you just look at like the general shape of the tree, right? Just take like your pencil, your pen, just draw the I would personally start with like the body of the tree, the bark of the tree, the generally upright structure of the tree. I would start with that. Draw out the very, very, very rough shape of how the tree goes up, and then just shade it fully in black. Just color it fully in. That's how I like to do it when I'm doing a big tree. If you do a bunch of them together, it'll make like a pretty convincing forest if you do a bunch of them. It doesn't matter if you get the shapes wrong, as I said. It'll actually, if you just shade it all in, so don't do the little details, just shade it all in. If you do a bunch of them, it'll actually look really professional because it'll look like you know how to simplify your shapes. And then when you do the leaves, right? When you do the tops of the trees, literally just look at your picture or the tree in real life if you're in the field or something, and then just do a very rough outline of how the forest is kind of shaped, like how the trees are. It doesn't really matter if you can't get it right. If you do like do not do the little leaves. Don't, after you do the branch, start following out and do the leaves. You'll give yourself a migraine. You'll give yourself you'll have a hernia because it's impossible to do little leaves. I hate doing little leaves. What you can do is look at the broad shape of the tree, right? And then just do a little rough jagged edge of what the shapes are. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. And then here's the kicker, right? For how it's gonna look. It's gonna all tie together and look beautiful. Inside of that large outline of the tree that you just did, you're gonna do these little small, jagged, little colored shapes inside of your big outline. And that's going to be the negative space for when the light is shining through the tree leaves. You're going to do a bunch of these. You can do them randomly. You can look at your reference picture, look roughly at where the sky is shining through the leaves, and just do them in those general areas, right? Again, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. And then you're gonna take your pencil, your pen, whatever, you're gonna shade the large outline of your tree, and you're gonna leave those little bits that you drew into the tree, you're gonna leave those blank so that it looks like the light is shining into your tree. You're not gonna do the little leaves. And this way, it's really easy, it's really simple, you'll have a lot of fun doing it because it's easy again, and it'll look professional. It'll look professional because it looks like you can simplify the shapes. It's gonna look really nice. It's gonna look way better than if you did like teeny tiny leaves. You're gonna hate the process. This is cool. Show this to your friends. Show your tree drawing to your friends. They'll be like, that's a f***ing dope tree, man. That's cool. How did you do that? And then you'll be like, I'm just a professional. I'm just really good at everything. I'm really good at drawing trees. The second way of drawing a tree is to do a close-up part of a tree, right? So like the close-up of a leaf or bark or wood. I think the best thing to draw a close-up of is the bark of the tree. I think this is the easiest bit. It's gonna look really good because it's like dark and it has a lot of like shadows and stuff. This is what makes it really fun, but like really easy to do and get it right. If you just look at the rough shapes of the bark of your tree, right? Just keep referring to your image or like the tree you're looking at in real life. Again, don't be too worried about getting the shapes right. It doesn't matter. That's the best part about drawing trees. If you get the shapes wrong, it's fine. Look at the darkest bits of the image that you're looking at, and then look at the lightest parts, right? You're just gonna roughly draw the outline, the big outline, and then just inside pick out the bits that are the darkest, like the shadow bits, the lightest parts, just draw those in, right? And then you're just gonna color it in. The most important part here, and literally the only rule here, is that some of the parts are gonna be completely white. You're not gonna color them in with your pencil. Do not color them in, just leave them white. And then some of the bits are gonna be really dark. So you're gonna completely push hard, shade those in, totally black. And in the middle, you can have different bits which are partly gray, partly, I don't know, pink or blue if you're using color pencils. That could be cool. That could look really cool actually. But as long as you have the white bits, which are completely white, the black bits, which are completely black, the most extreme values, as long as you have those, it'll look good. It'll look good and it won't look like one giant slosh of pencil graphite. And again, the best part about this is that because this is bark, right? It doesn't matter if you're bad at shading or if your lines look really choppy, because it'll just look like the texture of the bark. Because bark is, it's rugged, it's got rough edges. Actually, the shittier your technique is, maybe possibly the better it'll turn out, the more realistic it'll turn out. You'd be like, oh, I'm really bad at like shading even, right? Like I'm really bad at keeping the same pressure on. It doesn't matter. It'll actually turn out better because it'll just look like the natural texture of the bark, and you'll be like, wow, that looks great. Thank you, Crystal, for telling me this tip. Please follow, like this video, subscribe for more. And now you have a really cool picture of either a forest or some bark, and then you can continue to do it. If you don't like the style of that, don't listen to me at all. Just do basic shapes, find like a pattern of drawing a leaf that you like, and then just continue repeating that pattern. I think one way to simplify drawing a large tree without giving yourself a hernia is to just pick the style of leaf that you're going to draw. For example, I'm going to draw my leaves like this. Then I'm going to just continue and then just do that. And then use the very simple shapes of how I taught you how to draw the tree branch, and then just continue that way. And that's gonna look very pretty, it's gonna look beautiful. Artists that I think draw like this, it looks a lot like Van Gogh or like the Impressionists or like David Hockney. They all draw their trees like kooky, but they look beautiful. They're beautiful looking trees. And it's because you just have to like commit to like style of tree drawing and then just do that, and it's gonna look great. Trees are very forgiving to draw. Literally anyone can draw this. There is literally no way you can be bad at drawing this thing. It is impossible. Even if you've not drawn since you were 5 years old or in kindergarten, you can draw this right now and it'll look good or like decent, and then you can feel good about yourself. Bob Ross is right. Except Bob Ross is dead. Bob Ross is gone. Look at me. You answer to me now. I am your Bob Ross. Look at me. I am your new Bob Ross. Happy little trees. True. Trees, it is literally impossible to not draw a tree and have it look good. But the answer is not because they're happy little trees. The answer is that you literally cannot f up drawing a tree. Prove me wrong. In my opinion, I've never seen someone do a bad drawing of a tree. If you just start drawing, it's something that you can, if today is like your first day of drawing, you can start out, and that is a subject matter that you can do and it'll immediately boost your confidence and you can hit the ground running. Just do a drawing of a tree. You can just draw a picture. You can go outside and look at the bark of a tree and just focus on the shapes, the shadows. You can like look at, I don't know, go into a field, draw the little trees clumped together. It doesn't really matter. Just pick like a random point, just pick a random plant and expand outward. And the reason I think this is so beginner friendly as a subject matter is because a tree, unlike drawing a face or an animal or an object where like it's really obvious when you get it wrong. You know how like if you draw a face, it's impossible if you don't have like a good grasp of like dimensions and proportions and stuff, or like an object, especially like a vase, a still life. If you've ever drawn, you might think that that's like really easy because it's really simple. It's actually fucking impossible, and it's because it's so simple as a shape that it is so obvious when you look it up. But the good thing about a tree is that trees look fucking ridiculous. They look weird, and every tree looks different. Which means that it's actually really easy to draw, because even if you f up the branches, like, oh, that branch is actually not meant to be there, no one will f***ing know. No one will know, because they definitely have not seen the reference that you are referring to, and even if they have, they can't tell, because trees just grow crazy, and you just know that it's a tree. So it's actually perfect. You should go draw a tree. Do it right now. I'm just kidding. Watch the rest of this video and then go do it. I would suggest, if you want to learn drawing, I would do a bunch of drawings of trees, of plants, do a bunch of them. If you started with the first type of drawing, do the second type of drawing, swap over, do different types of trees. I personally never like to repeat drawing the same thing because it's really boring. I think you're meant to do this. It'll like help you improve because you can see the same subject matter and then you just improve it. I think that's really boring. My goal when teaching people to draw is you should be enjoying literally every part of it. If you hate doing that thing, even though you know that like theoretically it's gonna like help you improve your drawing, just don't do it. Just don't do it. It depends on your goal, right? But if you're just starting out and you're like, I'm starting out, I really want to improve fast, but I really want to have a fun time. I really want a skill that I can enjoy, that's relaxing, that I can start, that's new. Just do the parts that are fun. Trees, again, are really easy. In an ideal world, you enjoy the process and you make something and you like it even if it looks terrible. But I find that that is very rarely the case. If your drawing actually turns out and you think it's really hard to like keep going. And obviously, practicing is the most important factor in determining whether or not you will get good at drawing. If you actually hate the process, or like you really hate, you really hate studying anatomy, you really hate studying lighting, if you find it like so boring that it's putting you off drawing, I would recommend not doing it. Even if you focus on like the bits that you really like and you think are really fun, even if you don't learn the things that are like boring that you don't like doing, just like any improvement in any area of drawing will improve all of your drawing skills overall. When you come back to it, you will be much better at it. It'll be a lot easier. You'll hate it a lot less. So when you're just starting out, focus on the things that are really easy to get right and that look good, and it'll motivate you to continue drawing. At the beginning, the most important bit is having fun and making stuff that you're really proud of, because that is going to push you into continuing to practice, and then as you practice, it'll get easier, and as it gets easier, you can do the harder stuff with it being easier, blah, 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you. Please like this video.